I'm at home today and I am using my kitchen at home as our test kitchen. We've had several different people ask us, how can we make bread out of your dry mix? This is our classic one and I am going to show you how today. All you do is you empty the bag and put it into the bowl. Most importantly, you do not take the yeast, put it in water and activate it. We use a special blend of an organic yeast that we got from Europe, and this is the special part about it, is that you don't have to do that. We do not want to kill the yeast. So thereafter, you're going to add your cup of water, and I usually do about a half a cup at a time. And then you're going to add a couple tablespoons of your favorite olive oil, any kind of oil. I use an organic olive oil. It makes the flavor taste really good. And then I just start mixing. It's important when you make bread too that you have a big enough bowl, because the flour can fly out, number one, but also you're going to need some room to work in this as well. So just start mixing it until it's getting a little bit clumped. Not too much, don't over mix. And then I'm going to add my other cup of water, right about there. And one thing that I found with our mix, you can add a little bit more water if you want. I've seen people where their water is filtered, the weight is a little different. We go on basic measurements, but you'll know it when you feel it. That's how I say it. So we're just going to mix this up, not too much again. We just want to hydrate that flour with the water. And when you know you hydrated it, all the flour is gone. So your dough, everything is not looking like flour anymore. It's looking more like a ball or strings. You can also have a few strings in there, but we're going to work on those in a minute. So just make sure the flour is gone out of the bowl. So you might have to add a little more. You could probably add up to a quarter cup more and just mix away. And that usually does it. Just that little bit more. I use a lukewarm water, by the way. It seems to activate the yeast a little bit easier, but it's not necessary. And now the fun part. This is where you put your hands in the flour. Of course, wash your hands before, which I did. And this is what I want you to see, because this is the most important thing. People try to mix dough with a spoon. It does not work. You need your good old-fashioned hands. And eventually you're going to get your baker arms, which are right here, because you're going to learn how to knead too a little bit. And I wanted to make this an easy thing for people. I am a bread baker, but I know people at home have not had that experience. So I wanted to make it easy. And I also wanted to make it clean. And I know that's a new word for a lot of people too. You probably all know the word organic. But clean means there's no toxins, pesticides, or preservatives in this flour. You can't get these ingredients anywhere off the shelf in your local grocery store. So that was an important thing for me too. Just put that down there. And you can see the texture of the dough. I'll try to bring it up a little closer for you. It's a little bit grainy looking still, but it's wet. There's no flour at all here. So we're just going to take this down and start kneading it. Now, however your grandma taught you how to knead, go for it. I've just always done the fold over, push down, fold over, push down, fold over, push down. And you're going to do this for just about 5 minutes. And you're going to see your dough change texture from grainy looking to more of a smoother ball. And that's the fun part, is starting to see that. Also on our directions, you can keep a couple tablespoons of flour out if you want to use it for dusting your surface, but you don't necessarily have to. And the reason why you need isn't just to get that to look pretty, but it also is good for you to get this gluten to start activating. And that's the most important thing. Another thing you can do with this is not make bread. If you want to make rolls, you can do that. You can make pretzels. You can also make things like, use it as like a pot pie topping. You can make empanadas, pierogies, just about everything. But the important thing is that you're eating healthy, you're eating clean, and actually you're going to be nourished. This is the old way of doing things, and maybe your grandmother did this for you before. Maybe you're not your mom because your mom's got busy working out of the homes, but maybe your grandmother did. If you notice, I cut that in half. We're just going to fold it over a couple times, just like that, and let it sit. And then we're going to take the other one, fold it over a couple times. If you don't want to do the fold over, I can show you too. You just put it on the table and you just kind of push it towards you, and that'll tighten the loaf. One of these will make two things. So you can either make a really big loaf of bread. I like smaller loaves because it's just me. So you could do that. We're going to show you how to shape that in a minute. Or you can do smaller loaves like this. And this is the one that I prefer, the round loaf that's freestanding, because I can get a nice crispy crust on it. So you just kind of shape it like that. Be patient with bread. It doesn't happen right away. Couple hours this is going to sit. I'll show you this one too. A couple hours this is going to sit, and we're going to cover it up, and then we're going to shape it a little bit and tighten it a little bit, and then throw it in our pans. So with this one, because it's going to be a loaf, I'm going to take this one this way and stretch it out a little bit, and we're going to take it and fold overs. So you can do a fold over in your hands if you're talented, or I just do it on the table. I just fold it over. You can see that, like a little triangle right there. And then you start at the tip, fold over, push down, fold over, push down, and fold over, push down, and then fold over, push down. And that's kind of your shaping. So you can see how it's more of a rectangle. Again, I make two small loaves because it's me. If you want to make one big loaf, just do all of this the shape you want to do it. So we're just going to cover it. You can cover it with a clean cloth in your kitchen in a warmer place. Don't put it in the middle of a window on a breezy day. And we're going to let this sit for a couple hours. So we'll be back. Thanks. Oh, look at that. How exciting. There's nothing better than looking at a bread this way. First of all, it's not ready to bake yet. I'll give you that hint. We have to transfer it to a pans. So what we're going to do is we're just going to pick it up, and this is called reshaping. Grab a little of the dough stuck to the table. We're going to put it on the pan. I lightly grease my pans and just going to give it a light reshaping. You don't want to be heavy with it, just a little light reshaping, just to tuck the corners back in. So we're going to put that there. Same thing with our longer loaf. Just pick that up and just give it a little reshaping too. Just tucking those corners under. And we're going to let those sit just for a few minutes while your oven preheats. I'm going to preheat mine to 450, and once that is hot, these will be ready to go. Talk to you soon. Again, it's been about 20 minutes. The oven is preheated to 450. Here's our bread. Couple secrets to the baking process. One is, if you want to add a topping, you would want to wet the top. I prefer water, so we're just going to spray some water on top. And you could sprinkle this with sesame seeds, fresh herbs, whatever. And then, or I just leave it plain with water on top because it gives it a nice crust. Hopefully you can see how glossy that is with the amount of water I put on top. And the reason being is you want to steam this. So even though I put on 450, we're going to put these in the oven, and I'm going to turn it down to 425. But that extra 25 degrees is because of the fact that you're opening up your oven. So you're letting heat out. And you want to get these into a very hot oven. So it's going to be 425 for 6 minutes. Go in, turn it, 6 more minutes. Then you're going to turn your oven down to 375, and you're going to watch it every 5 minutes. And what this does is it dries out the bread. Otherwise it can be a little moist inside, and we all don't like dense, moist bread. So I'm going to put this in and we'll check with you later. Well, I got the bread out of the oven. I'm so excited to share this with you because I'm used to baking in a commercial oven. I'm not used to doing it at my home oven, so you've got the best tips right here. First of all, what I did is I did 450. When I put the bread in the oven, I sprayed it lightly and misted it. Turned it down to 425. It went in for 6 minutes. Turned it, lightly sprayed it, and it went in for another 6 minutes. Thereafter, I turned it down to 375 to start drying out the bread, and that is for 5 minutes. Turned it again, 5 minutes. No spraying on that time. Now it's out of the oven, and as you can see, I've got my 2 loaves, which is perfect for me. I might share one, maybe not. I love bread, and it's so nourishing for you. It's just amazing, all the protein and the fiber that's in here. And I made white bread. So with our classic mix, but we also have a chocolate and we have a whole wheat, so that works well too. But if you notice, when you bring your bread out, if you don't have a thermometer to test it at 190 degrees, you can actually thump it and hear the sound. So tap the back. Do you hear that? It sounded like a little drum, hollow sound. That's what you want. That's when you know it's done inside. It's lighter, it's not heavy, weighted. And you want to take it off the pan after about 5 minutes and let it cool separately. And you're sure you can cut your bread when it's warm, but not hot. Give it a little time. I know it's exciting, so enjoy making bread at home. And our mix again is our Pantry Organic Clean Dough Mix, and it's available on Amazon, Albertsons, as well as our own website. It's a perfect thing to have in your pantry right about now. So enjoy and have a great day. Thanks.